Good afternoon. My name is Betsy, and for the record, I am a real Betsy. You see, most Betsies are actually just nicknames for Elizabeth, but I'm a born and bred, real life, listed on the birth certificate, Betsy. You might be surprised to know that I am probably old enough to be the mother to most of the kids in this class. In fact, I have 3 grown kids who are probably also older than most of the kids in the class. My son even has a couple of kids of his own, so that makes me a grandma too. I'm 57 years old, and the last time I attended school was when I graduated from high school 39 years ago. I graduated in 1984, so gag me with a spoon because I'm a child of the 80s. I moved to South Carolina 2 years ago with my husband and his dog, and we relocated from the mountains of West Virginia. You know, the Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. And just like the old song says, it really was almost heaven. But I wonder how many of the kids in this class even are old enough to get that reference. It was an idyllic life, and that's where I raised my family. We even raised a few dogs, some intentionally and some not so much. You see, in 2010, my husband and kids decided they wanted to breed Coco, one of our female dogs. And so a friend of mine was studying out her male dog, so we brought him to our home, and we left the stud alone with Coco and hoped for the best. And pretty quickly they found each other and tied the knot, consummating their union. Our other female dog, Jeannie, was a little young, and we didn't want to breed her right away. So I was super cautious and made sure to keep her crated and away from any potential unwanted advances. But then there was a delay in returning the stud to his home, and though I was extra vigilant about keeping him separated from Teeny, my husband, he wasn't so careful. And a few weeks later, much to my chagrin, they found each other, and though she was younger than I would have liked, she apparently wasn't that young. Maybe it's because she was younger, but because when it came time for her puppies to come, she didn't seem to know what to do, and I ended up having to help her whelp her puppies. And 13 years ago next week, she delivered 3 pups with my help, and they were all literally born in my hands. With the first litter, Coco's litter, the planned litter, we picked out cute names for each of the pups, but we were kind of over the whole cute puppy experience by the time Teeny's litter, the second litter, the unintended litter, arrived. So we just named them number 1, number 2, and number 3. We decided to let their forever homes give them their real names. We already had homes waiting for Coco's pups, and as soon as they were weaned, they were gone. But finding homes for Teeny's pups, the unexpected litter, proved to be a little more difficult than I liked. I did finally find a home for number 2, and number 3 followed shortly thereafter. But while I was struggling to find a home for number 1, my husband was apparently bonding with her, and the next thing I knew, they'd fallen in love with each other, and he informed me he wanted to keep her. So up until then, we hadn't given her an official name because we'd just been calling her number 1. And by the time he decided he wanted to keep her, she was already answering to that name, number 1. I mean, I didn't really like her, and I didn't really think she was cute enough to have a cuter, better name anyway. And besides, she was going to be my husband's dog, so what did I care? And with that, the name number 1 stuck. And with that, I was stuck with number 1. I used to tell her, you may be number 1, but you'll never be more than number 2 to me. Through the years, she was my husband's best friend, and she loved him with all her heart. She carried a piece of her heart in her heart. So when my husband passed away last year, I was never more thankful that I had number 1 to cling to. In the years since my husband's been gone, that little not cute dog has taught me the real life meaning of irony. Have I mentioned that I didn't really like her, and she's not even all that cute? Well, it turns out that the one dog I never really cared for, the one dog I never really wanted, the one dog I tried my hardest to get rid of, turns out to be the only one I have left, and she made me fall in love with her. And that's irony. Thank you, and have a fabulous day.